My cousins were celebrating their millions at my grandfather's funeral, and there I was, standing in a thrift store coat, holding a wrinkled envelope. No one cared enough to look at the plane ticket inside. Preston laughed, waving it like a joke, while the rest of them clinked their champagne glasses. I didn't argue. I didn't cry. I tucked the envelope back into my pocket and walked out of that country club with every eye on my back. 8 hours later, I was on a flight to Rome, and what they thought was pity turned out to be power. Before I tell you how it happened, tap like and drop a comment. Have you ever been underestimated by your own family? I grew up believing my family name meant something. The Whitmores were supposed to be legacy class, old money, impeccable manners, and even colder hearts. But for me, the Whitmore name mostly meant learning how to disappear quietly while everyone else fought for the spotlight. My father, Richard, carried the world without complaining until it killed him. He worked himself to death cleaning up his brother Vernon's financial messes, signing papers he never should have signed, trusting people who only saw him as a safety net. He died alone at his desk at midnight. I was 15. After his funeral, my mother, Grace, went back to 12-hour nursing shifts. Her eyes hollow, her hands steady. She never talked badly about them, the uncles and cousins who drained us dry, but I saw the way her fingers trembled whenever the Whitmore name showed up on TV. Promise me, she used to say, while making coffee before dawn, you won't let them turn you into one of them. And I promised I became a history teacher instead of a business executive. The disappointment of the entire family group chat. Every Thanksgiving, I sat at the kids' table while my cousins bragged about corporate titles and luxury cars. Preston, the golden boy, loved to remind me how noble it was that I'd chosen a humble life. Mallory filmed the dinner for her followers, editing me out completely before posting Whitmore family traditions. I pretended it didn't sting. I have my small apartment, my students, my quiet weekends, grading papers, and watching rain hit the same water stain on my ceiling. I thought peace was enough. Then Grandfather Roland died, the man who built Whitmore shipping from one fishing boat into an empire. The man who taught me chess on Sunday afternoons and never once told me I wasn't enough. He was the only person in that family who saw me as something other than a mistake. When the funeral invitation arrived, I knew I had to go, even if it meant driving 3 hours in my rusty Honda Civic with the heater half broken. The Rochester Country Club was drowning in black suits and fake tears. Aunt Beatrice complained about the rain ruining her shoes. Preston practiced his CEO smile in the mirror. The air smelled like perfume and greed. I stood near the back and whispered a quiet thank you as the casket lowered. Nobody heard. I thought the hardest part of the day was saying goodbye. I didn't know the real performance hadn't even started yet. 2 hours after the burial, the will was read inside a wood-paneled room that smelled like cigars and old victories. The family gathered around a long, mahogany table polished so perfectly it reflected their hungry faces back at them. Preston sat at the head like he already owned it. Grandfather always said legacy should stay in capable hands, he announced. Straightening his cufflinks, the lawyer cleared his throat, and the room went so quiet you could feel the greed pulsing in the air. To Vernon and Beatrice, the Hampton estate and an investment portfolio. To Preston, Whitmore shipping and all operational assets. To Mallory, the penthouse on Central Park West and the yacht Serenity. Then the lawyer's eyes met mine. To my granddaughter, Claire Whitmore, I leave this. He pulled out a small white envelope, creased, unsealed, my name written in shaky handwriting. Inside it a plane ticket. Rome, one way. Departure, 48 hours. Laughter filled the room. A vacation. A pity gift. A consolation prize. I didn't say a word. but I saw a number penciled in the corner 1947, the year my grandfather left the Navy to start Whitmore Shipping. Too specific to be random, too deliberate to be sentimental. When the layer added, "There's also a personal letter waiting for her upon arrival." The laughter only grew louder, but as I walked out of that room, something shifted. Their laughter didn't sting anymore. It sounded like the noise people make right before the ground gives way beneath them. That night, I placed the ticket on my kitchen table. The fluorescent light flickered. My grandfather's handwriting glowed, and I remembered my father's journal. The last page. One sentence: "Don't let them turn you into one of them." By midnight, my decision was made. I wasn't going to Rome for a vacation. I was going to finish whatever game my grandfather had started. When I arrived at Fiumicino Airport, a man in a tailored black suit held a sign that read Claire Whitmore. "Your grandfather asked me to meet you," he said. His name was Lorenzo. He drove me up into the Sabine Hills, a road lined with olive trees and cypress sentinels, until a quiet villa appeared behind an iron gate, glowing honey gold in the afternoon light. The door opened and an elderly woman stepped out. Black dress, pearls, eyes the color of storm clouds. "Claire," she said softly. "Come." Her accent curled around my name like it already knew me. "I am Sophia," she said. "Your other grandmother." The floor seemed to shift, but her hands were warm, certain, steady, the way someone holds you when they've been waiting a long time. She led me through rooms lined with photographs. Roland young, laughing, barefoot. Roland holding a child with his same sharp eyes. Roland standing beside Sophia in 1947, newly married. He had lived 2 lives, 2 truths, 2 families, and none of it was an accident. In a quiet cellar room, they played the video he left for me. My grandfather appeared on the screen, older, gentler, seeing 3 moves ahead like always. "If you're watching this, Claire, it means you took the flight," he said. "Good girl." He told me everything. The company in Detroit was drowning in debt. The penthouse had liens. The yacht was leased. The estate was half loan, half illusion. "I gave them appearances," he said, "because appearance was all they ever asked me for." Then his voice softened. "You, Claire, you never asked for anything. So I'm giving you what's real. The vineyard, 2 million bottles a year. Paid for thriving, protected an inheritance no one else even knew existed. Checkmate, because the quiet player always sees the board differently." When I returned to Detroit 3 weeks later, Preston called, his voice stripped of arrogance. He begged for help. The empire he inherited was collapsing. I offered him a job. A real one. A hard one. No title. No ownership. No fancy nameplate. Just work. And he took it. Mallory followed. Then Vernon and Beatrice fell into their own small, ordinary lives. And me? I learned to belong to 2 worlds, the classroom and the vineyard, the noise and the quiet, the past and the future. I learned that revenge doesn't have to be loud. Sometimes revenge is harvest. Sometimes it's watching the person who mocked you ask, "What do you need me to do today?" And answering, "Start with the heavy crates." 6 months after the funeral, the Whitmore name didn't echo through marble halls anymore. It lived quietly in the dirt under my fingernails, on bottles aging in a cool cellar, on the label of a vineyard built from truth instead of ego. People can laugh at your beginning. They can mock your quiet, your stillness, your small steps, but they might just applaud your ending, because one small choice can rewrite the whole game. If the story hit home, drop a comment and tell me where you're watching from, and hit subscribe.